Yeah, Belmont Stakes. It's not going to be a Belmont Park. Belmont Park out on Long Island is under renovation. They have moved it to upstate New York. Really beautiful small track, Saratoga. And that's where they're going to run on Saturday night. It is a 10-horse field. It's the third jewel of the Triple Crown, the Belmont Stakes, but it will be run. Rain is in the forecast, and that's something that could play havoc in here. There are multiple big stories. It's a 10-horse field that's got 3 horses that everybody likes. It's a 10-horse field that does not have the top 3-year-old in the country. Muth, Bob Baffert's pony, is not in this race. Muth had been scratched from the Preakness because the horse got sick after it shipped into Pimlico, and Muth could not run in the Kentucky Derby because of the Bob Baffert suspension. So this is weird. I mean, this is a lost 3-year-old season for what many thought was going to be a great, great horse, Muth. But Seize the Gray will start inside on post position number 1 in a small field. Seize the Gray is a great speed horse. Seize the Gray ran away from everybody and wound up winning the photo finish at Pimlico. So Mystic Dan, Derby winner, is going to start number 3. Pretty good post position. And again, it's only a 10-horse field, so it's not going to be a crush out of the gate. Mystic Dan had a bad start Preakness after the Derby win, closed fast, did not win at the Pimlico. And the wild card in the whole thing is Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone finished second in the Kentucky Derby, almost caught Mystic Dan, did not run in the Pimlico, and is now back after all these weeks of rest. Sierra Leone is going to start on the far outside at number 9, and Sierra Leone's got speed. The other story about the Belmont Stakes being at Saratoga, it's a smaller track. I've been there. Beautiful track. This is not going to be a 1.5-mile race. The third jewel of Triple Crown at Belmont is a 1.5 miles, which is grueling. This is going to be a 1.25 miles. So this is going to be speed, 10-horse field. I think it's going to be wide open. I think it's going to be just an absolute fun race to watch.
Now, this is, like you just said, the third of the Triple Crown, right? And I always get them confused because I know Pimlico and Preakness are the same thing, right?
Yes.
Okay. And Belmont Stakes is the third. And there's a few others like Breeders' Cup.
Well, Breeders' Cup is the end of the year for everybody. You know, Breeders' Cup has been at Del Mar, been at Santa Anita. Breeders' Cup is a championship weekend for all types of divisions. They have 14 different races on a Breeders' Cup Friday and Saturday. But the Breeders' Cup Classic is the marquee event for the 3-year-olds.
Cool. So. Now, when they ever have these Triple Crown races, do they ever run them on the turf?
No.
Or is it always on dirt?
Always on dirt. Okay. Now, some of the other races on that day's card, the Breeders' Cup races, there'll be some on dirt, there'll be some on turf.
Interesting.
And they have them different. They have them for mares. They have them for foals. They have them for shorter distances on the grass. It's like I say, 14 different races spread out over 2 days, and it's every classification of horse from 2-year-olds to 4 and 5 and 6-year-olds.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting. It's just a fascinating sport. By the way, Mystic Dan, whenever you say that, I think of Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump, So, but yeah, good on. I'll tune in for that, for the Belmont Stakes.
See, I know what I'm talking about. You thought you were just sitting there shooting the bull over a beer with some dummy.
Well, I watch enough baseball and basketball. It's nice to get a little variety.
Our variety is the last topic on the table, but